The abuse of entrusted power for private gain, corruption, has become synonymous to names of many developing countries in Africa, of which Ghana is no exception. The fight against corruption seems to be a Herculean task for many governments. On this backdrop, the Nana Addo-led MPP during the 2016 general election had one of its key campaign promises to be the setting up of the office of the Special Prosecutor.
The Office of Special Prosecutor, an independent, non-partisan body with the relevant professional capability to lead the fight and hold public officials, past and present, accountable for their stewardship of public finances. The enactment of the Office of Special Prosecutor Act, Act 663/2018, by an MPP-dominated parliament, is the first stage in the fulfillment of that pledge.
The office is to serve as an independent investigating and prosecution body to make inquiries into corruption, bribery, and other criminal cases at the national level, be it in the private or public sector. There were high expectations for this office. A year on, however, Ghanaians are yet to have a taste of the Special Prosecutor's prowess.
The office, according to the Special Prosecutor Act 2017, Act 959, will be the autonomous body to handle sensitive cases which the Attorney General will otherwise be ineffective at handling. True to its promise, the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, after gaining power January 2018, nominated a former Attorney General and Minister for Justice in the erstwhile John Evans Atta Mills-led National Democratic Congress NDC government, Madam Alamisi Amidu, as the Special Prosecutor amidst a host of controversies and backlashes from the opposition NDC.
And will in turn submit for Parliament's approval when it reconvenes on the 23rd of January 2018 for its first meeting of this new year, the name of Martin Alamisi Burns Kaiser Amidu to be the first Special Prosecutor under the law. I have done so because I am fully convinced that Mr. Martin Amidu, a prominent legal personality who held the high office of Attorney General of the Republic in the government of the late President Professor John Evans Atta Mills, has the requisite integrity, competence, courage, and independence of character to discharge effectively the responsibilities of this new office. Indeed, the Supreme Court itself has had cause to commend the nominee for his public spiritedness in the case of Amidu versus Attorney General, Waterville and Wyoming, when the court, per the respected judge, Doche JSC, had this to say about it, and I quote, "The role of the plaintiff, Martin Alamisi Amidu, the distinguished former Attorney General of this country, needs to be highly commended, as was done in the lead judgment of the court. The plaintiff, in my opinion, must be highly commended for his vigilante role in protecting the wanton dissipation of the public purse."
nation today with respect to whether and the extent to which the discharging of the report of the committee will be prejudicial to the matter which is pending before the court. Dear Speaker, any comments, whether adverse or commendatory, that are made in this matter may send the wrong signal to the Supreme Court. The motion before us is procedural. It's procedural. So it's totally out of
There were high expectations for this office. A year since its inception, however, Ghanaians are yet to have a taste of the Special Prosecutor's prowess.
This notwithstanding, Martin Amidu continues to tout the challenges his office faces and claims he does not enjoy the support of many government officials.
There was no office in existence known as Office of Special Prosecutor. You need to appoint people. You need to second people. You need to transfer people. It doesn't happen overnight. Nonetheless, we are working assiduously to ensure that the vision that informed the setting up of the office materializes. And once I have accepted that position, I give my word to all Ghanaians at my vetting that we shall do our job without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and crime will be crime. We don't talk as law enforcement officers, we act. And as I've told you, investigations have been initiated within our little resources. When it is time, you will hear about us.
Martin Amidu and his office is being publicly criticized for his inability to prosecute the numerous cases of alleged corruption involving previous and current government officials as expected by many Ghanaians a year on after his nomination. In line with all this, we at TV African News sought to find an answer to a predominant question being asked by many Ghanaians. Will the mandate of the Special Prosecutor's Office be a case of chasing rainbows? Let's hear from Ghanaians.
We are going to go by the commitment and the kind of political talk that was made out of it. We should be expecting some prosecutions by now. What is the use of creating an office without making it LI or CI available? What's the use of creating an office without giving it logistics and financial support for it to work? So I think maybe it could be one of these political pep talk. I don't know. But for me, the kind of zeal and enthusiasm I used to have for the fight for corruption, at least it's dwindling each day.
It's well documented, it's well thought of, it's well planned, and the delays we're experiencing in the setting up of the office coming into full operation, I think it's part of the procedure. You don't expect that right after the announcement of the special prosecutor by the president, then he goes arresting people. Even if the office is set up today, evidence gathering is very important. That's why you hear people have stolen money, the next day they are released, because the sort of arguments they are supposed to put down when they go to court, they don't take their time to gather evidence. So they go and their case is always flawed. So the special prosecutor office needs time to put all these documents together. And not for this, we are dealing with public servants and politicians. These are very smart guys who want to siphon money and do some cover-ups. So let's give him time. And in the person of Martin Amidu, I have no doubt at all in his capabilities. I believe it's something he's been championing for a very long time, and he's been given the opportunity. I don't see him failing in this office at all.
It's just like any office being set up by the government, because from the look of things, since he was appointed, he's been very quiet and he's not doing what we thought he would have come to do as a special prosecutor. So I think it's just one of those things. He was just appointed to be there, and that's just what it is. Because he still takes orders from the government. And if you are taking orders from the government, what you are being told to do is what you are doing. You don't have the independent authority to do what you want to do. So until you are told to do something, you can't do it. So even if you want to do something, it goes against you in your office because you take orders.
Government is actually not showing interest in it. The government only comes to the public eye and let us know that, oh, they're working on it, but we don't see any improvement. And for nation's interest, or for nation to believe that indeed the government is working, they must speed up with the work of the special prosecutor so he can able to do his work, so we can prosecute those who try to run away or go away with many corruption cases.
Mr. Amidu, in his usual write-ups recently, indicated that the SPO was oddly distressed. He claims in spite of its establishment a year ago, the office known as President Akufo-Addo's flagship tool to fight corruption in the country is yet to be resourced to enable it execute its mandate. 1 year down the line, it has only a small 3-bedroom house as an office, woefully inadequate to accommodate any reasonable number of employees. It lacks subsidiary legislation and is also financially crippled without any ability to acquire the requisite expensive operational anti-corruption and other equipment for the office, let alone to function efficiently, he said in the article that was widely published. The government, however, in its 2019 budget allocated 180 million Ghana cedi for the 2019 fiscal year to the Special Prosecutor's Office. The money will be used to resource the office to enable it carry out its responsibility of fighting corruption in the country.
Mr. Speaker, in line with government's promise to protect the public purse, His Excellency the President remains committed to the fight against corruption. The Special Prosecutor's Office, which is established under the Office of the Special Prosecutor Act 201-2017, Act 959, is one of the highest priorities of government. In this budget, the Special Prosecutor's Office has been allocated an amount of 180 million from GOG of a commitment to provide additional resources during the course of 2019 to enable the Special Prosecutor's Office to carry out this mandate.
This notwithstanding, Mr. Amidu continues to tout the knacks his office continues to face and claims he does not enjoy the support of some government officials. According to him, very few politicians support President Akufo-Addo's plan to create the office, and so such persons have not accorded him the necessary support in the discharge of his duty. Speaking on some Accra-based media houses, Mr. Martin Amidu said some of them do not like this office to exist.
I use my common sense. The law says I can coordinate with other organizations. So I coordinate with the Auditor General. I coordinate with Yoko. I coordinate with other anti-corruption bodies so as to find a way by which we can begin to work towards the ultimate end. I have warned that if most of these things were not done by the middle of this year, then this office may not be able to be seen to be doing its mandate by middle next year, because by middle next year you are in election year. If I arrest somebody, you will turn up and look at it, which party does he hold the insurance card from? Right? Because criminals now have taken political party cards.
Mr. Martin Amidu, popularly known as Citizen Vigilante's appointment as Special Prosecutor by President Akufo-Addo in January 2018, was received positively by many Ghanaians due to his public reputation as a man with a no-nonsense stance on corruption. That notwithstanding, some politicians within the governing New Patriotic Party (NPP) and those in the opposition National Democratic Congress (NDC), which Mr. Amidu previously belonged to, expressed their misgivings over the creation of the office and the appointment of Martin Amidu as the Special Prosecutor. The former President of Ghana, Jerry John Rawlings, jumped on the bandwagon of critics when he said, "I wonder what is holding him up. We do not want to see the perpetuation of crime. We don't want to see crimes being committed with impunity. The power of virtue must override the power of advice. The former president said a delay in identifying and prosecuting corrupt acts by public figures will lead to impunity and the further perpetuation of crime and corruption. The special prosecutor, however, assures that his office will prosecute its first case in 2019. In line with all these, TV Africa News sought to seek an answer to a predominant question being asked by many Ghanaians. Will the mandate of the Special Prosecutor's Office be a case of chasing rainbows?
Ajok Bekle reporting for TV Africa News.